Um, I don't know how much good this is going to do. I don't have a very large following, about 6 people. When I lived in Collingwood, I had thousands. But something went wrong with my mother, and I gave up a beautiful home in Wasaga Beach and all my support systems that it took me 22 years to get to rescue her. Anyway, make a long story short, I feel that there's just some things I have to share. At the age of 72, I had completely reversed my Parkinsonism, and my body was amazing, and I was friggin' gorgeous. There's no other words for it. I was beyond my wildest dreams. I was better than I was at 25. And my diet for disease control system was responsible for it. And my friend Len Boise, 6 years ago, put it on a website. And I've spent at least, I'm all itchy, don't mind me. I went outside for 10 minutes and we're surrounded by smoke. We've got horrendous fire in forests, and cottage country is all burning up thanks to global warming. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, I forgot to put my goggles on. I wore my gas mask, but I forgot to put the goggles on, so I'm itchy all over the place. Anyhow, and finally, I've had tremendous support from Vitality magazine in Toronto, and they did a really lovely, I sent them a letter, and they published the whole thing. I got a full page, and it promotes my website. That's the really good news. It's really wonderful, but here's the bad news. The frigging site crashed. Yeah, that's what happens when you're dealing with Microsoft. And the company webs.com, they didn't even bother to notify the users that there was a crash. So yeah, no winning for losing. Oh God, I've been trying to get the message out on OKRA. What the benefit? It's not just the benefits of OKRA. It's not a joke if you lose your memory and you can't read and write, and you wind up retarded in the streets like I did, and it takes you 22 years, and you discover that a couple of OKRA a day, and like that, your brain comes back, and you're able to relearn. It took a long time for me, to be able to make a sentence and to be able to communicate effectively. And I sat with a dictionary to relearn the meaning of words. And after years and years of that, and courses in the United States by mail to make sentences to be able to write again. I'll never be the writer that I was, but nevertheless, with the help of Len, that website is absolutely important to billions of people. And my fight to get legal recognition that humans are being systemically poisoned. I'm not going to get into the animal thing, because whatever's happening to humans is happening to animals too. But, let's concentrate on the humans first. I think the animals would survive without us quite fine if we expire as a species. Anyway, and children being born with my disease, because mine was acquired, poisoned at the age of 6. So anyway, after all that, no winning for losing. I get the website promoted, and it's crashed. And at 72, I developed this amazing body. It was hard work. And all of a sudden, between my brother robbing us of $1.5 million in investments and fraud, legal fraud made legal by secret filing, I'm not going to get into that. But I wind up with a tumor inside my thigh that is a parasitical fat cell tumor feeding off a main artery. I'm just lucky that they didn't butcher me, because I would have died in 10 seconds if they'd gone in and done a biopsy. I was lucky that the cancer specialist was willing to admit that she didn't know what she was looking at on the MRI. And so Dr. Sadie figured out what it was. But by the time he did that, my girlfriend Paquette helped me by phone a simple exercise to help move the muscle in my leg, which would move the tumor off the sciatic nerve because it did central nerve damage. So it set me back 30 years. And I have been sick since 2014, along with the stress of dealing with everything that I have gone through. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable what I have endured. Taking care of my mother and being robbed by the lawyers and fraud made legal, and the police wouldn't help, and I'm in a terminal condition. It triggered the Parkinsonism in a terminal condition. I was completely paralyzed on ice packs for 6 months, and the pain. I can't take drugs. I'm completely drug-free. 34 years, alcohol and drug-free. Anyway, I do everything through food or health food supplements. And now Health Canada is trying to put out the health food industry again and force and rob us of our right to choice. We already don't have a right to choice in Canada. This is not a democracy. We don't even have the right to know what's in our food. And bastards are trying to destroy our health food industry. Well, I'm alive because of the health food industry, people. Through organic food and supplements, that's what keeps me alive, not drugs. I cost OHIP absolutely zero, nothing. And I'm not saying I don't go to doctors when I need to, but I choose very carefully. I deliberately don't have a family doctor because I own my body. And in Canada, if you got a family doctor, you may not have the right to choice. I learned that the hard way. That's what cost me over $4 million, and we won't even go to that. That's my career down the tubes. Anyway, I have exhausted all my resources fighting for human rights with like 6 followers, 6 people that care. Lucky me. Whoopie-doo. But I realized that there was a whole lot of things that I was doing, and they're not on my website. And I'm too tired and too exhausted, and anyway, I can't put it on the website because it's not working. What's the point? I've got nobody following me anyway. So I'm going to put it up on YouTube, some of the things that I used to do and I'd forgotten to do. And because of the tumor, okay, it caused severe brain damage, and Dan kept me alive. But I'm deathly ill 80% of the time. Now, I put out videos, you just see me skiing. Well, in the winter at 10 below, all of a sudden everything's okay with me. I was always like that. The cold triggers an amphetamine in my brain, and I'm a powerful person. Actually, there is an amphetamine called Obitrol that's expired, and you can't get it. But OKRA, it does the same thing that an amphetamine does. But it's just not powerful enough anymore because I have sustained so much damage in the last 4 years that I can't turn it around. So I spend 4 or 5 days reversing the attack, then I dance for 2 hours, and then I crash, and I'm in attack for 4 or 5 days. So that's kind of what's happening right now. And at 77, I don't think I have another amazing recovery left in me. I'm going downhill in a shit in a handcart faster than you can spit. So, but someday, some of what I know, and I'm putting it out, and it's going to be a very long video, people. If you're not interested, close me down, shut me off. Because I might be at least an hour and a half here. I don't even know if YouTube will let me go on that long, but some really important things. When I'm terminal, which I am now, but for a long time I was terminal, and I was doing a lot right. And like I say, in the last 4 years with the brain damage, because of the nerve damage from the tumor, I'd forgotten to do these things. And on a daily basis, I was taking milk thistle, okay? Because whether you be of a certain age or you are poisoned and you have a disease, milk thistle will detoxify your liver, and your liver isn't going to detoxify naturally. So it's a natural supplement, and it's really important, and I'm going to go back on it. Green peas are a natural high protein, easier to digest than beef, and beef is certainly not healthy anyway. Buffalo meat is what I got to get on, and I was on it and I forgot about it, like literally forgot about it. And it's hard to get. I'm in the north and I'm in redneck territory, you know. So there are a lot of things that are hard to get up here. I didn't have that problem in Collingwood and Wasaga Beach or Barrie. I am in Ontario, Canada, by the way, people. And I was, you know, I do eat organic salad at least every other day or every day, as much as I possibly can. But when I'm sick, all I eat is chicken soup. And so I do the best I can, but that means I'm starting to have deficiencies again, mineral and vitamin deficiencies. I'm on a Jameson B100. I'm on a calcium that I get is made from seaweed, because here's the thing about calcium. There are so many calcium supplements, but guess what? You're not a plant. You can't digest microscopic rocks. So they're useless as tits on a bowl. So I am on a special one, CalMag, and it's got magnesium and it's got vitamin D. And I'm on that twice a day. And I eat a great deal of organic chicken. And I eat eggs, organic eggs. Now, I eat almost 1 egg a day. And the main reason is because there's something in eggs, not just the protein, but it's so hard for me to get to my feet. So that when I finally get to my feet, even though my body isn't that functional, my brain starts to really go, and I can't sleep. I have extreme sleep deprivation. I'm up all night. I get to sleep at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up and down and up and down, and in the bathroom peeing, and everything is just all mixed up. Okay, my regiment, dietary lifestyle regiment, is very much impaired because of the disease and the brain damage and the tumor and the Parkinsonism, etc. And like I say, I was perfect at 72, but I've been set back 30 years, so it's like starting all over again. Not a fun trip. And I used to regularly, I'd get frozen cherries, blackberries, and blueberries, and I'd eat at least a small bowl with organic zero-fat yogurt every day. And I've forgotten to do that. Instead, I've been eating oranges, and I've been having acidic backup. Okay. Well, I also got leaky gut because I got off my dietary program. And what that means is I'm not digesting food properly. So oranges are extremely acidic. So I'm really struggling to rediscover what I used to know. And that part I didn't put on the OKRA because I didn't think it was necessary. I was trying to help people get healthier. I didn't know that I was going to be able to completely reverse the disease. I mean, that didn't even occur to me. I just knew that it would make people healthy. I got people off welfare, and they became engineers. Now, it's not a joke. A woman was on welfare. I put her on my very early, simple program, and her brain woke up to the point where she was so bloody brilliant that at 30-some years old, she was able to go to university and become an engineer. I've got people out there that, well, they took the information and they went on and had a great life and forgot all about me. Yeah, well, I don't mind that. I mean, what the hell. But anyway, so I really didn't get into, and then with what I was going through with the tumor and my mother became terminal from clindamycin and from drugs that a doctor gave her, and so it was a constant battle between all the legal nonsense that I was going through and then on top of that, this is crazy. This is totally crazy. So, so I don't know where that light's coming from. Gee whiz. Anyway, so that was something every day. Omega-3. Well, the reason I was on an omega-3 every day is because I'm allergic to codfish and I'm allergic to all kinds of fish, but I can eat some fish, sardines and rainbow trout. That's because I'm chemically hypersensitive, and suckerfish are full of toxic chemicals, and so they're a bottom feeder and they're not really a healthy fish. Just like tuna's not safe because it's got mercury in it. Well, maybe some people could eat a little bit, but it's not good for me to risk that. And I don't get the full nutritional value from the food that I do eat. It's because of all the damage that's in this wrecked body. Anyway, omega-3 is made from anchovies, and it's really, really super healthy. And I was on one of those a day, and I'm on halibut oil for the vitamin A. I'm mainly vegetarian, and my diet is quite limited. Even though I'm gaining weight, I'm telling you, I'm gaining weight. Why? Because I can't move. When you're in bed, guess what? Every little thing, like one carrot, puts on 2 pounds. I think a lot of you people who struggle with your weight know what I'm talking about. But for me, it's because I can't get it. I'm crippled too much, and I'm in too much pain. And there are anti-inflammatories that I completely forgot about. Such as I would take almonds and get them crushed and put that in my salad because it's an anti-inflammatory, and things like that. Apple cider vinegar, dab a little bit on all your food because it'll aid with your digestion and help your blood and clean your blood. That's another thing. I do it because I like the taste, but I didn't put that on my dietary program to share with people. Chlorophyll. Well, you have to eat a lot of greens to get the chlorophyll. It's an antioxidant, and it'll help to prevent cancer, or if you have cancer, every little bit helps, right? And but if you can't do that, you can get a supplement, a green algae, and I used to be on that, and I'd forgotten about that. And I'm just going through some papers, right? And for hyperactivity to help me sleep, well, that's why I eat egg. I eat an egg at 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and it helps me get to sleep. And but it better be organic, people. You don't want to eat any other egg. It's got to be organic. But lettuce, believe it or not, contains a substance that will help bring you down. And I do eat sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning a little salad. But the important thing is that don't eat it with cheese and don't eat it with any dairy or yogurt, because it'll stop you from getting the calcium from the spinach that's in the. I get the organic spring mix salads, and it's got baby spinach in it, so it's important not to mix. And the other thing is to try to separate your food groups. Eat your protein with your protein, your fruit with your fruit, 3 hours apart. Your kefir and your yogurt, well, you can have that with fruit. Actually, that's okay. But you shouldn't have fruit with meat, which means you shouldn't have fruit with protein. Now, that's on my website, but actually I've been so sick, I've been mixing everything up, and then I get an upset stomach, and then on top of that, I already can't sleep, so now I got an upset stomach, I'm in pains and shooting pains down my leg, and so of course I can't sleep. So then I wind up making a pancake with eggs, and then I gain another 3 pounds the next day. And I can't do any exercise because I can't go dancing because I can't move. Oh, welcome to my world. Okay, a lot of talk about kale, but I tried kale, and I found it to be very toxic for me. I don't digest it well, and the same goes with bananas. If you know, there's enough potassium in, and I don't eat potatoes. I just once in a blue moon, and I don't eat beef. Maybe 3 times a year. But eggplant is really, really good and healthy. And you know, when I think about the anchovies, no wonder the Mediterraneans are so healthy, because they eat anchovies. But I don't like the taste. Ugh. But anyway, the omega-3 from Jameson is made with, and check what it's made from. Jameson's pretty good. They tell you what it's made from. You got to be careful of any of the Loblaws no-name brands. They won't tell you anything. It could be a sucker fish. It could be catfish for all you know. In fact, it probably is. And cod definitely is not a healthy fish. So that's you know, another thing that I was forgetting to do. And it's hard because when I'm so sick, I don't feel like eating, and when I do feel like eating, I feel like having a chocolate bar, not not a salad. Oh God! Now creatine, creatine. I had my mother on that, and it'll increase your muscle, and it's really, really important after 50. But you know, I went off it because I've been so sick. My digestive system has been so compromised that it was making me sick. In fact, even the B vitamin was making me sick. I had to wait till late at night, and I had to make sure I'd eaten, and don't take it on the empty stomach. But creatine, you got to take it 10 days before you start to do exercise. So I'll start in the fall, because once I get the cold weather, I'll get outside and I'll start skiing again. I don't care if I'm crawling on my hands and knees. As long as I'm in the snow, I feel better. And I'll get back on that and build my muscle tone. Because what happens is when you don't exercise, your muscles turn to fat. And I'm telling you, that's what's happened to me. I don't know if you can see it. It's not a lot now. I mean, it's gotten down. But, you know, okay, this is trying to show you here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there. Like, it's not bad now, right? I mean, I was at 140, and I'm down to 127, 128, something like that. And but it's been difficult. Let me tell you. I've been at this, you know, a year, and very hard to lose fat. So cinnamon, I take a 1/4 teaspoon. Oh, thanks to little IT. I have trouble saying her name, but she's a 15-year-old girl in Africa, and she sent me the information. Love you, girl. That belly fat, cinnamon will attack just the belly fat. And because I can't exercise to actually reduce it any other way, it actually worked. Now, it took a year because I'm not getting enough exercise, but nevertheless, I had a size of a football of hard belly fat. So way up in my chest, right up in here, from here to there, and I couldn't breathe. I was choking. That's because I had been in bed paralyzed for almost 3 years. So anyway, creatine is really a good supplement to get on. Now, there are supplements like, I have trouble saying the word, where is it? Glutamine? Glutamine? Okay. That made me so sick, I went into a terminal attack, and I was paralyzed for a month. So, got to be careful, you know. Like, I love the health food industry, but everybody's different, and not everybody can tolerate everything. But there's lots of food that you can get it from naturally, and Google's great. You know, I'm not a genius. I just sit down with Google, and what I can do is I can speed read. I can go through 1,000 pages of science in a couple of hours, which is what I did tonight. And I can, so, you know, in one evening, I'm going to come up with a bunch of information that it will take you a month or maybe a year. So that's my little gift in my poor little damaged brain of mine. I guess God took pity on me. There was enough wrong with me. He gave me that. But, Yeah, so there's, wherever possible, I get it from food, okay? I go on Google, love Google, and they've kept me alive, and they kept my mother alive. They helped me with my mother. She's since passed away, of course, but that's because of what my lawyer did to us, and my brother, and the fraud, and the clindamycin combination killed her. But so there's, those are just a few things that on a daily basis that I recommend anybody who has any autoimmune disorder, chemical hypersensitivities, leaky gut syndrome, chronic fatigue, low energy. As for memory loss, doesn't matter how bad my body is, the OKRA, like that, this brain is functional. And believe me, I was retarded. I couldn't read beyond and speak beyond the level of a 5-year-old child for many years. And Dan McIsaac is my witness because he took care of me all those years. So I hope some of this will be of benefit to somebody. And I would just like to say a little something about Sean Buckley, a lawyer in Toronto, and Vitality Magazine. Thank you both. And they seem to be the only health magazine in Canada that's doing anything at all, and even talking about the fascist corruption at Health Canada and what they're doing. And Sean has fought them successfully once before, and let's hope he's able to succeed again. But of course he needs support. I do what I can to support, not much, but whatever anyone can do is better than nothing. And Vitality Magazine is online. Anybody can access them. They're a wonderful, wonderful magazine. And I thank those of you in Toronto who have supported me in the past, and my dear 6 friends here who support me, and Sudbury, Ontario, and of course Dan. Well, I don't count him. He's beyond support. He's my lifeline. So I hope once in time that something good will come out of this. But I have exhausted all my resources, and I've sent everything I have out online. I've sent everything to members of Parliament. I've sent it out to health magazines. None of them were interested with Vitality. And I just don't want anybody to go through what I went through for nothing. None of what I experienced was necessary. There's no reason to have a law to legally commit fraud and rob people of your home. There's no reason for a fascist dictatorship like Health Canada to deny me the right to know what's in my food. And my disease was caused by rape seed oil, not grape, rape alias canola oil, in my food, hidden in the food and not on the label. And now billions of people are being poisoned by that shit. And like a lot of things that are poisonous, it's from the time of inception, okay, from the time the little sperm met with your egg, okay, the time they connect, you have to count from then. And I was conceived in January of 1941 to the age of 15. Now what happens to you during that period, air, food, and water, is going to affect you for the rest of your life. And if you are in a clean environment with clean water and clean natural food, and by natural I mean organic, because in the olden days, they didn't use pesticides. My grandparents didn't use pesticides, okay? My mother was not raised on pesticides. They knew how to plant one row of this and one row of that and one row of this and one row of that, and the bugs from this ate the bugs from that, and the bugs from that ate the bugs from that, and so on. And they had snakes, and they had garter snakes would eat bugs and flies and things, and that's how they controlled. and they had an amazingly healthy garden. Now, there is a garden up in Valcarin, at Josephine's, that is no herbicides. But in today's environment, like right now, we've got ash, and this is going on in parts all over the world, including California, and that ash from the burning forests is falling down onto the plants, into the ground, and everything is being poisoned. There's nothing healthy about that stuff, okay? And global warming is the cause of this. But I'm not going to cure that, because nobody cares. But what you can do is, even within all that, I'm in a gas mask, and I'm basically a bubble person. I can't go anywhere outside safely. And I'm in air filters. You can't hear them running, but I've got air filters running in the room constantly. And that if I, with my brain damage and immune system as damaged as I am, can still function, okay, still be functional, can you imagine what you could do for your children, people? So it's for them, and for those like me, kind of one end of the spectrum to the other. Because if you're raised in a really healthy way, and then you start to poison yourself, or you get poisoned when you're 30, you're not going to get the damage that I wound up with, unless it's extremely toxic, and then you're going to die with cancer or Parkinson's or mine is Parkinsonism, not Parkinson's. Mine is controllable. It's a disease that gives you symptoms similar to Parkinson's, but it is reversible. And I don't even know his name, but a neurologist in New York helped to diagnose me and gave me that information back in 1989. And wherever you are, if you're still alive, thank you. Thank you, New York. Thank you, Americans, and my few followers. Okay, I don't know if that's helping anybody, but it worried me that none of that is on my, that information has never been typed up on the benefits of some of the supplements and the dangers of some of the supplements. And I won't be able to fight anymore for the rights for property rights. I have exhausted all my resources, and I've done everything I know how to do. And so that's all I can do. I have to concentrate on myself and getting to my feet. God bless everybody, and thank you. And may you not live the life that I have lived. God willing. Over and out. Thank you. Thank you for listening, if you got this far. And if you got this far, please share. You don't know, you could save a life. Somebody you don't even know, like that beautiful child in Africa helping me. Okay? So you never know. And God bless Google, because without them, where would we be? Good night.